Well, I think out of respect for all of you that were here on time, we'll get going this morning or this afternoon. It's the kind of day it's been. And if you're newly on, welcome. And if you could just rename yourself so that your some sort of identifier, being your role or your district or whatever it is on there as well, that would be great. But I want to welcome everybody to our October public image webinar for zones 25B and 29. My name is Kyle Haugen. I'm the public image coordinator for the zones and am from the Rotary Club of Prior Lake, Minnesota, which is in suburban Minneapolis. And I'm excited that you're all here today. Let me put on the screen, I want to share with you the other members of our public image team. As you can see there at the top on the screen, there's 9 of us total, and our job is to work with all of you to make sure that all of your needs are met from the overall being a resource, answering questions, providing encouragement, all of those things that we can do to help make your jobs easier in the public image sphere of things. A couple of the assistants are going to be working with us today. Not all of them, but a few of them are, and I'd like them to introduce themselves. Well, I'll ask Sean to introduce himself right now. So Sean Berry, who's going to be one of our presenters and is kind of helping handle the tech. But Sean, why don't you go ahead and say hi?
Hi, I'm Sean Berry from Rotary Club of North St. Paul, Maplewood, Oakdale. That's Minnesota, District 5960. And I am an AR pick to this, 3 years.
Thanks, Sean. And then the other one, and I'm going to turn it over to him in a second here as well, is Stephen Smutney, who's one of the other assistant coordinators. And one of the things we want to really do is make it so it's not just me as the public image coordinator, but we really do have a team that's all working together. So Stephen Smutney is going to be more or less the MC for the rest of our session today. So Stephen, I will turn it back over to you, or turn it over to you, I guess, and you can introduce yourself and take it away from there.
Thank you, Kyle. So Steve Smutney from Rotary Club of Chicago Near South in District 6450 and 6450, 440, and 420. I'm assisting to coordinate. So the PI team was very excited when Kyle brought up these webinars. I hope that you've been enjoying them and will continue to join them. It is our way of having regular contact with each of you and to deliver information that is both topical and useful. Our intent is that it allows us to go a little bit deeper, as if we were to do an information dump at training. I know that's not very exciting to do one big training session. So this way we can get more people to participate as well. So if there are fellow public image individuals that you know and are not on this call and you're enjoying yourself, please encourage them to attend in the future. So each month our webinars will do a few things. We'll share an example of how public image is working together with membership and the foundation to increase our success in all of these areas, something the zone is really pushing this year, and showcase a best practice that one of our district public image teams is using that you can borrow from or use as inspiration. I will also have a deep dive into one particular topic. Kyle's going to bring up a list, which is coming on your screen now, of our upcoming webinars so that you can save the date. You have a few moments to furiously jot this down. You can take a screenshot, you can take a picture with your phone, but we would love to see each of you at one of these upcoming webinars. A couple announcements before we jump into the main event. Check out the public image resource library on our zone website. If you haven't had an opportunity to do this, there was a lot of thought and effort put into this, and we hope that it's useful. If you have feedback, feel free to reach out to your public image coordinator or to Kyle. Remember to use the awards program documents as you plan and implement your public image activities over the course of the year. Intent of that is a guideline. It's an awards program, but it's also kind of a guideline to assist, especially for individuals that may be new to public image or public image at the district level, to give you some guidance. Our zone public image team is here to help. So remember that we are here to help. If you need us to assist with any idea generations, team meetings, training sessions to get together with your fellow public image individuals in nearby districts, you want to throw ideas around, that's why we're here. And that's the effort that we would like to put forth to assist you. So while we're trying to be as proactive as possible, I know my public image people get emails from me. We aren't mind readers, so feel free to reach out to us as well. We would love to hear from you anytime, even at 2 in the morning. I can respond back. Rotary calendar. November is Rotary Foundation month. I assume most of you have been working with your district foundation team to put together plans on how to promote the Rotary Foundation month and the importance of the Rotary Foundation, both in giving and in grants participation. And if this is something that you have on your to-do list but haven't yet gotten to, perfect opportunity to send out an email while I'm talking to schedule something. November's right around the corner, so that's going to be the focus of our conversation today as well. And before we get started in our different topics, there's a couple things I'd like to mention that we will have time for question and answers at the end. So if you have a question along the way for any of our presenters, shoot a message to me in the chat and I'll coordinate at the end of the chat, try and get as many questions answered as we can. We're also recording this session and we'll not only have the full webinar in the resource library on our zone website, but we'll have each segment as its own recording as well. So with that, if you're not comfortable being recorded, feel free to turn off your camera. If you are, it's wonderful to see you. I'll have all of our public image individuals around our zone see you as well. So with that, we'll move on to a couple examples of how utilizing collaboration and focusing on promotion as parts of fundraising campaigns can lead to more success. 2 presenters are joining us today. The first is the public image team leader for District 6450, my good friend, Hunter Byington from the Rotary Club of Naperville. And he's going to share with us some ideas about a collaborative plan that was put together between the 3 Chicagoland districts called Homestretch Heroes. I turn it over to Hunter. Take it away.
Well, in fact, we have to thank, it was a very much a group effort. And we have to thank Stephen for helping us get the one of the tchotchkes that we're doing with this program, which you'll see in a few minutes. And he went all the way to China to find it. So you'll get a kick out of that. What I'd like to do is, can I give Brett the opportunity to share his screen for the slides?
Yes, we'll do that here. Hold on one second.
And then Brett, you need to unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah, and Hunter, what you want me to do is really the same slides I used yesterday, right? Just want to make sure I'm doing what you. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And Brett is also joining us from the Rotary Club of Naperville. Sorry, Brett, didn't mean to miss you on that.
And that's okay. And I'm not Hunter. I'm definitely not Hunter. So, okay. So I went through this yesterday in our meeting yesterday. Hunter asked me to put together some slides, a couple of examples of what our club has done and what we have on our website for promoting things here. And this is primarily going to be, the Polio Plus program here, and Rachel Osira that has really helped to promote here. Of course, we all love the phrase "every Rotarian, every year," but this is on our website now, and we are trying to get everybody in the district, or as many people as possible in our district, to take this pledge. It's basically the home stretch, finishing up the whole polio program. Actually, I have almost 100 people have signed up. It's $100 to do this here. And actually, I found out from Rachel yesterday, I think we're at 104, 105, something like that. But people can go to our website, and then, you go to the next slide here, you're going to see you can register $100 here. You can set it up as a one-time thing. You can do a recurring donation, and I'll just go through here. Yeah, here's the one-time or recurring donation. People have other options in terms of what they can give. And literally, I have to admit, when Hunter asked me to do this about a week or so ago, I had not donated my $100. So I made sure I did that. And this is actually the receipt I had for donating that. So that's the polio thing. And the other thing I put up here, I'm on the International Service Committee with our club. And some of you probably know, for several years now, we've done this International Service Summit. Last year, it was because of COVID, it was strictly a virtual. We're not sure what we're going to do next year. But, this is the kind of flyer that we use to promote it. That's from the 2021. We have done, I think we did 2 of them that were in person before we did the virtual one. And as I mentioned, I'm not sure what we're going to do next year. We'll have to see what's going on. So anyway, so Hunter, those are the slides. Did you want me to go into anything else, Hunter?
Oh, no, that's all right. Why don't you go back up there to the one right before the, one more. Let me do one more. There you go. Just so you guys, when we're also doing this with Richard Brill and his group at 6440. There's a couple of things you may find interesting about this. One is that this is a great way to introduce your clubs, the members of the clubs, to the foundation. It's $100 donation that they make. What we're doing is, you may say, well, why are there so many click here's? Why are there so many places that you can register? And the answer is, we don't want our district or our foundation group to get in the collection business. And that's usually one of the things that holds people up in doing a program, because you get people who say, I'll give you $100, but then getting the money out of them is a bit of a pill. But number two is, you find a way to connect them with RI for the donation through Rotary, through the Rotary Plus program. So what we did deliberately is split this up. We want to build the list. And so that's the first button you click. It says register here to become a charter member. And everybody who does that, they go to a form and give us their name, address, phone number. And that's all we want, of course, because now they're part of the group and we want to build a database. Number two, though, is how to handle the donation. And as you can tell, we're telling them what that whole thing is. And the donation is $100. Well, that's why if you click the next slide for a moment, this is where you go. It's on the Rotary International website. They have one already set up for us, donate to end polio. And your guy or girl who signed this or wants to do this, this is all they have to do, is pick the polio fund. It defaults to it. And then the next slide, they fill in the blanks. They donate, we recommend $100. The next question is, do they want to do it every year? And that's the purpose of this. We want repeaters. And then once they do that, if they're a member, they should have found out about My Rotary, and they should be able to sign in. But if not, which we find is also an issue with our people, it's okay. This is a great way to learn how to sign into My Rotary and put their name, address, and phone number in there. But the key is, this connects both things so that your foundation person who, for the district, now has the list of people who donated, and it's already applied to however the magic that they do up in Evanston and is applied. So this is a pretty clean program. And it starts with just saying, and if we go back to that first slide, the one you've already got, no, I'm sorry, the second slide where you had there you go, right there. What we did is, you'll see on the left is the ad we put together. That has been sent every 2 weeks, along with other things about the foundation, to our membership. The deadline for signing up for this is December 31st. If they are one of the 350 people who sign up, they'll also receive that pin that you see there in the middle, Home Stretch Hero to End Polio, that we custom made for the people who sign in. So that'll give you the start and finish. That's the incentive. And then the final point would be, this is a great way to introduce club members to the foundation in a bite that they can understand. I don't know if Richard wants to say anything. He's doing it, or they're kicking it off in 6440. They're doing a little bit different, but I think it might be.
Okay. Yeah, Hunter, thank you. We're following the great example that you and your 6450 colleagues put together, and we've already finalized the pit, producing a pin and logos, and it's very similar to materials and donation materials what you have, and a number of us have sent it out already widely to all Rotarians in the district and all club presidents, and we'll continue to do that, and hopefully between us we'll have some really great successes in the Metro Chicago area for polio
I want to say you all are doing a wonderful, wonderful job. Thank you. Thank you, Rich and Hunter and Brett as well for sharing about this. It is really an interesting program. And I think that it's important for when our districts work together, we can do a lot more.
Right.
I'm going to move on so that we don't run out of time. So our next speaker is going to share another polio fundraising initiative. So please welcome District 5960 polio team leader, Joe Stallman from the North St. Paul Maplewood Oakdale Rotary Club in Minnesota. He's going to share with us their district's Strike Out Polio campaign.
That's right. Thank
Joe?
you, Stephen. I don't think I'm going to need any slides, so I'll just speak here to you guys directly. Again, 5960, I'm a co-leader of this Polio Plus committee with my friend Charles Cogan. I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about our campaign, Strike Out Polio, about how we created some incentives for it last year and this year. We'll talk about the promotion. I'll share those successes, and then I want to talk about the changes this year, for better or worse. And I want to be brutally honest with you on some of these things and talk about the challenges we've had, because I think it'll be helpful for everybody. So last year at this time, remember, we were all home and we were all online, and we decided to do this baseball-themed thing for Polio Plus, because it was happening during October, leading up to World Polio Day on October 24th, which of course was 4 days ago. And but I'm talking about a year ago, October 24th. And so we did this. The objective was to raise awareness and funds for Polio Plus. And we did it throughout the calendar month of October. And who was involved? It was our Polio Plus team, plus all the district foundation coaches. And I think we had 29 people involved total. So we had a lot of buy-in. We had people with some time and who wanted to make this effort. So what we did was we provided information about Rotary's efforts in polio eradication, and then we baseball themed it because of the World Series. It was fun for everyone. We encouraged members to give to Polio Plus during October, and then what we did was we matched recognition points. Now, a lot of our members knew what recognition points were and are, and some of them didn't, so we had to do some explaining on that. And what we did was, like, we called it a base hit from $100 to $364. The district would match 1-to-1 recognition points. And if you gave $365 or more, we were calling it $1 a day, the district would then match that enough to make it a Paul Harris Fellowship. So if you did $365, the district gave 635 recognition points, accumulating to 1,000, and we were able to award a lot of people, Paul Harris's. As far as promotion, we had an initial email to club leadership introducing the campaign, and then we had weekly emails that were all set and ready to go, and those came out every Thursday, and they were really good, kind of keeping it out there in front. We also had weekly communication to club leadership that had details, a PowerPoint slide they could show during their meetings, because remember, a lot were just starting to go online for the first time, so it was easy to get into their presentations. And then we had a scripted announcement they could make if they wanted to. Then we had bi-weekly posts on our Facebook page that was highlighting our efforts and what we were doing all throughout October. And then we had these Telling My Story weekly videos. We did 4 different videos where, and actually I was the host, and they were shorts. They were just a couple minutes long, and we interviewed 4 different people. One was someone who had done a polio immunization trip. One was a polio survivor. They were each kind of themed differently, and they really grabbed everybody's attention, and some clubs showed those at their meetings as well. So we were able to really get out there and interact with everyone for a month straight, and I'm going to tell you the results. In the last 4 years leading up to that year, the number of the dollars amounts that we raised in October for polio were the following: like 4,000, 10,000, 9,000, and 17,000. But last year in October alone, we raised $62,000. So we did a great job, and I'm super proud of all the people that got into this. We also followed up, by the way, to each and every club with recognition. Whoever gave, made sure that we recognized those Paul Harris's, and so there was work to do afterwards. Now, I raced through that, and I told you I'd tell you about this year. This year, a little bit different. First, what we didn't do right is we didn't plan quite soon enough. We kind of dragged our feet, and nobody really took the initiative. And then someone came up with the idea, let's do another strikeout polio campaign, but let's do strikeout in the bowling sense. And we were all like, yeah, that's a great idea. Like, here's a strike, here's a spare, let's raise some money. And then we tried to, we thought, well, we could do a district-wide event. We could have people send people from their clubs to do a bowling event. And it sounded great. A couple of the folks who were heavily involved with the kind of concept of that dropped out. And then we didn't have a point person. So that was the second problem. We started too late, and we really didn't have a point person. And, in hindsight, it should have been Charles and I, but neither one of us were completely on board or available in the month of October. So we did see some slipping. What we did, though, is we called, to use Kyle's terms, we called an audible. We went back to the clubs and said, you know what, we don't have to bowl in person. We can do this the way we did last year. We can still match those points. We'll extend our deadline. So we decided to make World Polio Day kind of a kickoff on it, and we're going to still contribute all the way till November 20th and see if we can get buy-in for that. So we haven't given up, and we're doing well, but we're not doing as well as we did last year. And I think there's a number of reasons for that, but really what we need to do is go back next year and start earlier and look at that playbook from last year and follow it to a T. So
I would not sell yourself short, Joe. I think you guys are doing an amazing job. I love these two programs. I think it provides a lot of inspiration and a roadmap for other districts to follow. Anytime you can get $365 and get a Paul Harris, that's pretty fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's a great program. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to turn it over to Kyle. He's going to introduce a little bit about a deep dive concept, how to utilize the Rotary Brand Center and People of Action campaign to promote Rotary Foundation. Kyle?
Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, and thanks to Hunter and Brett and Joe as well. Each month we want to have this deep dive concept, which is a way to go deeper on a particular topic. Certainly, as Stephen said earlier, rather than trying to tackle all these details at a training session in person, this allows us to be able to spend a little bit more time on a subject without overloading people with all the information, and the webinar format allows more people to attend and learn as well. As Stephen mentioned earlier, November is Rotary Foundation Month, where we celebrate the great impact we make through our foundation programs and encourage members to give. And today we're going to talk about how prioritizing public image principles can increase the impact of a fundraising drive, and how to utilize Rotary's Brand Center and People of Action campaigns to promote Rotary Foundation Month effectively. So I'm going to talk for a couple minutes just about some of the key concepts that I think any messaging should have. And, while the foundation is a big, complicated entity, promoting its importance and encouraging participation doesn't have to be. I think there are several things that I would suggest incorporating as your message when you're reaching out to people in your district about the importance of the Rotary Foundation. First would be to work together. Work between the public image team and the Rotary Foundation team to make sure you're working together, because the power of both entities coming together is going to make it the best possible, and you're going to have the most effective promotion and the most knowledge from the foundation side of things as well. But really, it's most important to focus on the proper things. And it's about the why, not the how the Rotary Foundation works. I know some of you on the call may be engineers, and I hate to tell you, as interesting as how the Rotary Foundation works to some of us, the vast majority of Rotarians don't care about the inner workings of the foundation. What they care about and what they need to know is why the foundation is important. And it's important because it helps us maximize the impact we have as Rotarians. So making that the central point of any discussion is key. So once you establish why the foundation is important, that being that it helps us maximize our impact as Rotarians, you want to work to create an emotional connection with the audience. Obviously, an emotional connection is important because without appealing to somebody's emotions, you're not going to get them engaged to want to participate. So that's why just going through how the Rotary Foundation works doesn't get anybody excited. It's not appealing to those emotions. And as such, you're not going to have the same level of success. So the more you can hit key emotion points in your audience, the more likely they're going to be engaged, and they're going to be more likely to contribute as well. So what's the best way to create that emotional connection? It's through telling stories that highlight our impact. It's sharing how specific projects make a positive impact on the beneficiaries. That's the important part. You don't have a lot of time to connect with your audience necessarily, so don't spend a great deal of time talking about how the project was developed, but hit the high notes. Who are the beneficiaries? How their lives were changed? What the Rotarians did to be able to help change those lives? Because people, and I think all of you would agree with this, people want to hear about the successes, not the process. So keep it brief, hit the high points, talk about the impact that we're having, that personal story of that one person, how their lives were changed, and then how many beneficiaries a project had, that people can relate to that more. Because that, then you're going to have the connection to someone's emotions. And once you've appealed on the emotions, then it's about making the connection between the project and the Rotary Foundation. Something along the lines of, because of your contributions, we were able to do this project. And when we give more, we can do more, which helps us create positive impact for more people. Sean will share a little bit more about the effective use in pictures as well. And this connection would be the same. This is where you would talk in a caption along with the picture, or it's verbally communicated to the audience while showing a picture. So really it comes down to three main things. Focus on why the foundation is important rather than how it works. Number two, create an emotional connection with your audience through showcasing the stories of success that we have in real life examples. And three, tie it back to how your audience can help, either helped or can help create the impact through the Rotary Foundation participation. As long as you hit those three main points, you can have a picture with a caption or a 20-minute presentation to be effective. The more time you have, it's just more time for details and different stories that fill in with emotion. And you're going to be able to create those through examples. So, Stephen, I'm going to turn it back to you, I think, and let you and Sean kind of go from there.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. I really like this idea of emotional connection and the impact that we can have. So with this fantastic overview that you provided, I'd like to ask Sean to share some details of how to promote effectively. Sean, in your view, I know you have a lot of experience with this, as we're trying to connect with people on an emotional level, which often includes telling these stories of that impact that we are creating, as Kyle was talking about. What do you think are the most effective types of collateral that we can use?
Thanks, Stephen. As RI Director Susie Howe would say, we need to put a human face on what we are doing. We need to tell our story of what we do in our communities and around the world. We need to tell our story to our family, friends, colleagues, and our communities. And along with our stories, we need to show pictures of our service projects, what we are doing in our community and around the world.
I think that's a very, very important point. This is something that is a worldwide effort in order to get our messaging out. Rotary International has been working on this for a number of years, talking about messaging, and has developed a really impactful way to create consistent and memorable brand in the People of Action campaign. So Sean, can you explain a little bit about that campaign and how our public image coordinators can utilize it?
Although most of the public knows our name, Rotary's latest research tells us too many prospective members or supporters do not fully understand Rotary. They don't know what we stand for or what we do in our local communities. And nearly 60% of those surveyed said they are unaware that there's a Rotary Club in their own community. And now it's time to take the next step in telling our story. The People of Action public image campaign strives to bring the Rotary story to life for those who don't know us. It does this by showing Rotarians as people of action. As the people of action, we are leaders who work together in communities to inspire, transform, connect, and celebrate what's possible. Individuals who get things done and have a great time working, growing, and learning together. This campaign motivates, engages, and inspires current and prospective members, as well as donors, partners, and supporters. Rotarians share a unique passion for taking action and improve their communities and the world. Where others see problems, we see solutions. This is our chance to show others how Rotarians see what's possible in their communities and to highlight what we can achieve when more community leaders join Rotary.
Yeah, I think that's so key. Not only does the People of Action campaign create this consistency in branding, and I think that's what we're all trying to achieve is consistency across our district and clubs, but you've created a really easy way for people to develop People of Action pieces for their own use and for their district's use. I think it's such a cool tool. Can you show people how to use that People of Action photo editor? It really allows people to get streamlined, really easy access to creating these branding images.
Sure can. So what you want to do is you want to go to poaphotos.app, and this is the screen that will come up. And we can either create a new, and we'll do that. We'll do a couple tutorials here. We'll open a photo and select a photo that you want to use. And this can be used on your mobile phone, tablet, or desktop PC. A note on mobile phones on your Apple devices, Safari doesn't seem to be working right now. I am working on the fix for it, but it's something that they're blocking on the site. So I'm working on that. So very easy, you load the photo, you click templates, and we have Rotary, Rotaract, and Interact. And then you select the template that you want. Once you select it, if you click and drag on any of the corners, you can make the template larger. And if you click and drag anywhere on the template, you can move it. So we want to kind of try to keep this in the center of your photo if possible. Of course, don't cover up the action. And don't cover up any faces. So I'm going to put this one on top because I don't want to cover up the action. And we can click apply. You can see here that the eye is a little bit hard to see. So what we could do is we can add a shadow to that template. And it makes it pop a little bit more. And actually, I would probably move this over just a little bit because of the way the photo was done. And that's it. And then you can click save and save it as a JPEG, either a compressed file or a PNG will be uncompressed. So if you're posting on social media, either will work. PNG will be a higher resolution photo. If you're going to print this or put it on a poster, I would use a PNG file. We will do a couple more here. So if we go, you just click menu, new background image, and we'll select another one. And templates, Rotary, select the template. And that's how easy it is. I'm going to create one more. This one I'm going to have to refresh the page though, because I want to go create a new. So if we create new, we can specify a width and a height. So we have a blank canvas here. We can get a background, and these are the Rotary colors. We have Rotary blue, gold, azure. We have Interact blue and the Rotaract cranberry color. So we're going to go azure. And then we can add multiple photos. So if we go add overlay image, and the same with the templates, if you click the corners and drag, you can resize. And we can add another overlay image. And then we can add our template. And then there's two ways you can do your logo. We can, if you have it on your computer or on your phone, you can just add another image. Or we can go to templates, the master band. We can add that here, and we can add text to it also. So add text, select Open Sans Condensed is an approved alternate. Select the color of the text and do it as it says, double click to edit. Drag it over. We can change the size of the font either down here, or you can also drag the corners. Try to get the right edge of your text aligned with the right edge of the Y on Rotary for your logo on that. And then you just click save, and you can save that photo also. Again, the website is poaphotos.app. If you have any questions with that, you can send me an email at sean@poaphotos.com.
John, I think this is fantastic. It's such a convenient tool. So thank you for putting this together. I am really, really confused though, because I expected to see a group of people standing in line in one of the photos and a group of people sitting around having a chicken dinner in another photo. So can you talk a little bit about what the correct kind of photo is that we should be using for this People of Action campaign?
Yes, the People of Action campaign requires Rotarians in action, depicting them in powerful images that capture the public's attention and ignite real emotion. The photo should represent the genuine, unstaged moments of Rotarians at work. So don't pose for the photo. Show a clear visual narrative that represents the headline, the action word. Subjects' faces and actions should be positive, happy, and engaging. Work with warm and natural lighting. Often natural lighting in the early morning or late afternoon achieves the best results. Make sure you represent the diversity of your club in age, ethnicity, and gender. You want people in your community to see themselves in the photo. This will help grab their attention. If the project has beneficiaries on site, capture the image of Rotarians interacting with the beneficiaries that represent the work of the project. And I say interacting with because we don't want you to pose for the photo. And ask yourself, will people in my community connect with what they see in the photo? Can't stress enough that we are looking for action photos. Whether you're transforming a park, saving lives, mentoring the youth, promoting peace, feeding the homeless, or connecting with other organizations, we need to see the action. We are not looking for photos of you sitting around a table drinking coffee or beer or handing a check to someone. We want to see action in your photos.
Yeah, I agree. That's 100% key. And for someone like myself that's not a graphic designer, this tool makes it so easy to get people of action images out there into the public sphere. But I know that this tool is not the only one that you enjoy. So can you touch on a few other materials in the brand center or tools in the brand center that you think would be useful?
Yes, the brand center has a lot of information, a lot of tools you can use. From editable brochures, PowerPoint templates, flyers, photos and videos to fill in your social media if you don't have enough for that month. But actually, a couple of clubs have asked me if I have a template for a brochure, and I don't, but the Rotary or the Brand Center does, and you can create your own. It's a really nice template. You can edit your own photos or add your own photos, add your own text. It's very easy to do it directly in the Brand Center to do that. So I'm just pulling it up here. So basically you can go to your left panel, you can change your photos, middle panel, change your photos and change your information. Make sure you put your club name in there, and then you can go to the back of it and change all of this information. It's a really nice template, good visuals, good mix of text and visuals on that. But there's plenty of other play around with it, of all the materials. Play around,
Yeah.
go into the materials and find, there's pretty much everything. And if you can't find what you're looking for, you can always ask one of the AR picks, and I'm sure we can find something that you can use for your project.
So I'll just reiterate what Sean said. There are tons of tools on the Rotary Brand Center that Rotary has already developed for you. It makes it super easy to work with consistency and to create effective brand messaging. And feel free, or you should feel free to encourage these with your clubs as well. It's not only a district thing, it's a club thing. But sometimes, I know my own club asked me to do this, a club or district may want to create their own collateral. So Sean, are there some key do's and don'ts to properly create Rotary branding?
I'm going to show some slides of what not to do, and then I'll show a couple of slides of what you can do. And then I'll go through a short, like 30-second tutorial on how to create your logo. So all of these are wrong. Don't change the capitalization. Don't use the blue and yellow logo. All of these are wrong. Don't use the mark of excellence as wheels. So the Rotary logo is supposed to look like this. And what you can do with your club name, district name, zone name, as club name, you can have it above, or you can have your club name, district, or zone below. And then the simplified logo does not have the Rotary International, and use that on embroidery or screen printing or small logos on your website where the Rotary International would not show really good. Some examples. So my club, district, a club that uses or has the name above would be Prior Lake Rotary. And then I want to show you need clear space around the logo. So the height of the R of the capital R of Rotary is what you need around your logo before you add any other graphics around it. Oh, I am going to just quickly, if we have time here, a couple minutes, show how do you create your logo. So you go into your brand center and you click on logos and you click logo templates, club logo template, and create. And it's as easy as changing now we can change this to the normal or the simplified. We can have full color, azure blue, black, or white. I promise it's there. You just can't see it on a white background. They should make it so the background is a darker color. And then you click save. And you save it as a file. And you follow the instructions. You have to refresh your browser. You download it as a PDF, you can open it up to be a vector file, so you can open it in Illustrator or something else that you can put it in other files. If you refresh, JPEG will have a white background. So the white logo on the white background will not work. So don't use JPEG with a white logo, or PNG will be a transparent background. So very easy. This tutorial is also on the Zoned website under tutorials. So if you go to the Zone website, it's on the left-hand side. It says tutorials.
Thank you, Sean, for sharing that. So we've talked about People of Action Photos app. We've talked about Brand Center. We had some wonderful stories in the beginning. Sean, Kyle, are there any other thoughts that you'd like to share before we open it up to Q&A?
I have one thing. Just when you're creating or having a designer create signs, brochures, or any other material for you, send them your logo. Don't make them go find it on their own, because Google has an archive of the wrong logos, and you don't want your new sign to have the wrong branding.
Love that tip.
John,
Kyle?
would you like to, without naming the club, would you like to give a quick example of one that I know is a pet peeve of yours that happened recently?
Well, I saw you smirking. I thought, well, you probably know what project I'm talking about. So
Sure
they did and I won't say the name of the club or the people involved, but they had a community project, and I believe district grants and a lot of volunteer hours and everything. And then they created a sign that has the old wheel on it. And this was after they did some, I believe, training, or one of the people involved was part of our training. So I want to make sure, and I don't know who approved the sign, but I want to make sure that you send the logo to your designer or your sign company. And if you're unsure, send it to your public image person or your district public image person. And if they're unsure, they can send it to us, and we will make sure everything is brand compliant.
Perfect. That's what we're here. We're here to help you guys as much as we can. So I'll open this up to Q&A. Oh, before I do that, there's going to be a link in your chat box for next month's webinar. It is already live, so feel free to register now. I encourage you to register now so you don't forget, and get it on your calendar as well. So we'll have a quick Q&A. We've got 6 minutes left. look at the chat box and see if any items came up that were not answered. One of them is the district newsletter task typically assigned to PI in this zone. And I would say, Sean or Kyle, do you have experience with that?
I think it's up to any district to, do things the way they want. But Len, it sounded like you guys get to edit and provide graphic elements and photos, and there's good and bad about that. The bad news is it gives your public image team more to do. The good news is that there will be more consistency in the look and feel and everything of that newsletter as it relates to other collateral that the district puts together too, because you always have the public image team involved in that. I don't know whether there's a right or wrong answer to it. It's just a matter of if your team is comfortable with that and if there's somebody else that would do it if you're not comfortable with it. Are there any other districts that the public image team is in charge of the newsletter in any capacity?
I mean, we're perfectly capable. It's just, this was sprung on us 12 days ago. So we're well into our Rotary year, had already created our plan, had our plan approved, and then, whoa, let's do this too. And yeah, you're right. There's totally upside to it.
I mean, in a perfect world, I would love the public image teams in our districts and in our zone and in our clubs at least create templates that the rest of whatever that is, the club, district, the zone, utilize so everything looks and feels the same. I mean, obviously that's a perfect world and it's a pipe dream and we know it's not going to happen, but the more we can do it, the better we're going to be overall. Consistency wins.
Thanks, Kyle. I saw another note in here about don't trust Russell Hampton. They're not the arbiters of a brand. That's true. So feel free to look at Rotary Brand Center. They are the arbiters, and there's information on there about how you can identify whether your messaging is brand consistent. Now, since we have just a few moments left, Kyle, it looks like you were going to chime in again about reviewing the recorded program. You want to talk about where
Sure.
people can find this and when it'll be available?
Yeah, so what we'll do is we will have not just one recording, but as Sean is putting in there, he will break up not only the full recording for the whole meeting, but also Hunter and Brett's part will have its own separate recording. Joe's part will have its own separate recording, and then the deep dive will have its own separate recording as well. And we'll send those out via email to all the people that registered for this call, as well as Sean said, we'll put that in our resource library by the end of the weekend too. So Gene, you'll see it in your email soon, and also it will live permanently along with the other webinars that we do on the Zone website, which you can find if you go to if you Google Zones 25B and 29, you'll be able to find it. But the website is zones25b-29.org. And at the top, one of the tabs is public image. And then you can go to the main page and the resource library and also find our contact information under the Teams page.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you all for being here today. It really shows how passionate you are about Rotary and about this public image position, and we appreciate that as well. We are all here to serve you. If you don't know your zone assistant Rotary public image coordinator, reach out to one of us. We'll put you in touch with them. I'm sure by now you already have. So we will see you in November. We will be on for another 5 or so minutes in case anyone wants to stay on with any additional questions or to chit chat. Thank you, everyone.
And Stephen, I will just add, if there's anything you all want in terms of content, let us know. Be it deep dives, be it other info, we're here to serve you.